Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and it is a pickups video. I've got a few things I'd like to show off here, a few games, a few merchandise items, and even some soundtracks. So let's get started. Alright guys, so if you watched my last video, you know we've been on lockdown here because of COVID-19, so some of the restrictions finally lifted for us, so I could finally get out and do a little bit of game hunting. Finally got to get out there, I got the itch, I got to scratch that itch, you know, and pick up a few video games and soundtracks and stuff like that. So first off I want to show you is, so the Final Fantasy VII Remake came out lately, right? So there's merchandise everywhere, especially from the Square Enix store. And I happened to go to a thrift store and pick these guys up right here. They're little pins. I didn't even know these really existed. There's 5 different versions of them. I think they're pretty neat. You've got the Shinra Electric Power Company. I only got 4. That's all they had at the time. So I went ahead and picked up every single one, or one of each. You have the flowers. That's pretty neat. Here it looks like Genova falling from the sky, or the Calamity falling from the sky. And you also have, I guess, Tifa's design here. Pretty neat. The only one I'm missing, I believe, is the Buster Sword, which is probably the most popular one, and that's why I didn't see it sitting there in the thrift store. But hopefully I can pick them all up and find that other one eventually. Maybe it's on eBay or something like that. I haven't really checked, but like I said, I just found these out, that these existed today, so pretty neat. Next up, let's go with a soundtrack. This is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Right away, it kind of jumped out at me because of this little Moogle on the front cover here. Now, I'll have to admit, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is probably the only Final Fantasy I have not really played, simply because it was exclusive to the GameCube, and back when it came out, I don't think I even had a GameCube at the time. I think I had bought one brand new. I played some Mario Party on it for a couple of months, and then I ended up selling it and getting rid of it for whatever reason. It didn't have a whole lot of games that really interested me. But Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was one game that I probably should have played, but I do have it now back here on the shelf. But you know how the backlog life is. I'm getting there. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm gonna play it eventually. But hey, I got the soundtrack, so that's a step forward, right? All right, next up, another soundtrack, Final Fantasy IV, the original soundtrack. There was 2 different versions I saw at the thrift store of this. This one looked more of a collector's edition, so it was bigger. So I got this one. Looked like it has a whole lot more tracks on it as well. So Final Fantasy IV, the intro music is always pretty deep. I guess that's the way I could describe it. And yeah, so it always stands out to me. Next up, we have another soundtrack. Now this isn't quite game related, but I'm a big fan of the Sword Art Online series for anime. So I happened to see this, picked it up for like 400 yen, which is like less than $4, so it's worth mentioning. And speaking of anime, I guess I might as well point these guys out. A bunch of UMD videos for like $1. I found these over in Tokyo a while back, so I haven't showed these off yet. They're UMDs for the PSP. They're all Ghosted in the Shell. I'm a big fan of the series. I've got the movies on DVD, the series, but I didn't have any UMDs of it. I thought it was pretty neat. They were pretty cheap. It's a standalone complex in the original movie. We got the second gig and more standalone complex. So unfortunately, when I tried these in my PSP and I tried to watch them, they were in Japanese. I can't watch them in English. Not that I know of anyways. I try to look at ways to switch it over, but I don't think they support any kind of English translation, unfortunately. But they're still cool to have, and I barely paid anything for them. So I'm glad to have them in my collection. Next up, we got a Famicom game, and that's Altered Beast. Altered Beast is one hell of a game. If you haven't played it, you definitely should. It does have some age to it. It really shows its age. Originally in the arcade, I think it was ported over to Sega Genesis, PC Engine, obviously the Famicom. It's a great game. It's really kind of cheesy and low budget, especially the audio says the infamous power up. You know, it's still a great game though. It's challenging. I have a lot of nostalgia for it too, so maybe I'm blinded by nostalgia for this game, Altered Beast. But wow, I have a lot of big memories on this back in my Sega Genesis days when I was younger. I remember renting it quite a few times, and now I actually own a couple different ports of it, and it's definitely a fun game. So if you haven't checked out Altered Beast, check it out. It's a great one. It's a good one. Next up, let's go with a PC Engine game, since we mentioned PC Engine. That's Gradius. Pretty good side-scrolling shoot 'em up. I'm not much of a shoot 'em up guy, to be honest with you. I can't say that I'm really great at this game, but I try my best. You know, I'll be the first one to admit I'm not the best at shoot 'em ups. I'm more of an RPG guy. If you've followed my channel a lot, you will know that I'm bigger on RPGs, especially Final Fantasy and stuff. So when it comes to platformers as well, but when it comes to shoot 'em ups, I don't particularly know a whole lot about them. So if you guys know of a shoot 'em up that I should probably check out, you know, always let me down in the comments below, because I'm always looking for more shoot 'em ups, which I do have more shoot 'em ups here in my pickups. Let's get to those on the Nintendo Switch. So I've got two different shoot 'em ups here. I don't know if this was only released in Japan or not. These are like multi-packs, so they come bundled together. You got Volume 1 and Volume 2 shooting libraries. What kind of games we got here? We got Gunbird, Gunbird 2, Gunbarich. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Like I said, I'm not much of a shoot 'em up guy. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there's some other ones on here that are all in kanji, so I can't really read what they're supposed to be. But I have played all these games, and I can say they're pretty addicting. So it's 6 games each on each Switch game. I think I played the most out of, what was it? Gunbird 2. And one of these ones that are in kanji that I can't really read. Singuru Ace or so. Yeah, they're pretty fun. Yeah, sorry I butchered the names on these, but the way they put the English text on the side, you can't really see what they're saying, because they try to write it in this like really weird, almost kanji styled English lettering font, and I can barely read it. But they're pretty good games. I enjoy them a lot. If you know a whole lot about shoot 'em ups and your favorites in here, let me know which one is your favorite, or which one should I play the most of? Which one's the best one out of these that I read off? Because they're all pretty fun, but like I said, I need to learn more about shoot 'em ups and get to collecting some more, because they're quite addicting. But unfortunately, I'm not too great at them. Next up, we got 2 Famicom games. We got Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario 3. These boxes are in decent condition, but I didn't even realize how bad they were until I got home with them, because this one's chewed up on the corner a little bit. I didn't even notice that when I bought it. I thought it was a lot better condition than it was, but it's still in decent condition for $7 for Super Mario 3. And for Super Mario Brothers, I had this one is missing the whole side right here. I did not realize that till I got home. I was not paying much attention. We were moving so quick when we were finding these. This was actually 15 bucks. $15 for that one. A little pricey, I think, but they look pretty cool on the shelf. I already have loose copies of them. I don't really plan on opening the plastic on these. I mean, why would I? Why should I? Keep them in good condition. Don't let them get any worse than they are. Have them in the collection. All right, next up we got another PSP game, Final Fantasy Dissidia. That's how I pronounce it anyways. Three bucks for this. This is the Japanese version. Now I'm not too much on the combat style. I do have it for the PS4 as well, and I just can't get into the battle system, like the gameplay of it. The story's alright, you know, the characters look great, but this is the Final Fantasy that I'm not too crazy about. The combat style, I think it had a lot of opportunity, but the combat style just wasn't my thing. It feels too robotic or clunky. I can't get into it. So unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of it, but I found it for cheap on the PSP. It's the Japanese version. The art is awesome. It's amazing. The Japanese covers on video games are great, so I picked it up. It was really cool looking on the shelf. So let's see. PlayStation 2. Let's go with a PlayStation 2 game. This is Dragon Quest 8. I have not played it yet on PS2, but I've heard really good things. A lot of people tell me this is the best Dragon Quest in the series, and believe it or not, I'm really trying hard to get into the Dragon Quest. So it's kind of pathetic of the Dragon Quest games I have. So I beat Dragon Quest 1, which is also Dragon Warrior in the States on the NES. So I beat that. I believe I beat Dragon Quest 2. So the next step would be 3. I like playing things in order, even though I've heard from big Dragon Quest fans, you don't have to play them in order. You can play anyone you want because they kind of don't have a whole lot to do with each other. They might mention the past. But Final Fantasy, see, look, I called it Final Fantasy. That's not Final Fantasy. Dragon Quest, that's how I know I'm going to like it. I put it up there right with Final Fantasy because the first game I played and the second game were really good. It reminded me of old Final Fantasy games, right? Or I should say it the other way around. Final Fantasy games should remind you of Dragon Quest. But let's say Dragon Quest 8 is the best one. Let's say that that's the best one. I have not played it yet. I really should get onto it, but I kind of still want to play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, work my way up to 8. But I don't know, I might skip up to this one sometime. I really want to get to the newer ones on the PS4 because I hear those are amazing. What are we up to? You know, Dragon Quest 11 or so, or 10? I can't keep up with them. There's so many of them. I got so much to look forward to getting into the Dragon Quest series, and that is going to be awesome once I get into it. I know. It also comes with a Final Fantasy 12 playable demo inside, which is weird because I've already beaten that like years ago. All right, now we have another PS2 game, another RPG to mark off my list. Another incredible series, so I've heard. Suikoden 4, I have not played any of these. I actually owned them on the PS3. There was a cheap deal for all the digital versions on the PlayStation Store, and I think I paid like, I got like all of them that they had available for really cheap, like $5 or something like that, just so I could play them eventually. You know how the backlog is. Another series I look forward to get into. I don't know if number 4 is the best one in the series. I guess everyone's got their different opinions, but I have heard good things about it, and that's why I picked it up. By the way, these are not the Japanese versions. They are the English versions, so I can understand them, and I can read. So, I'm a big RPG guy. So, next up, let's see, what have I not gotten to? Final Fantasy, some merchandise here. So Final Fantasy Remake, again, the Square Enix store is putting out a lot of merchandise. And another thing I did not realize they had was these little glasses. Pretty cool. There are 5 in all, 5 different versions. So you have the Cloud, Tifa, Shinra, just a Final Fantasy VII Lego, and then the menu screen, which has the Buster Sword with, New Game and Continue. Yeah, New Game and Continue. Pretty cool. I've got all 5, so I've got the complete set. I'm pretty proud of having that. I don't think I paid a whole lot for these either. I paid probably, the whole set together, barely anything. It wasn't a whole lot. And it's something I could put on my shelf, nice and cool. I'm not going to take them out of the box and actually drink out of them. You know, they're going to sit on the shelf and collect dust where they belong. All right, just like any other collector would do. Obviously, you see here next up is the Power Glove for the, I guess I should say the Famicom, because this is the Japanese version, right? So I really like the box style, the box art of this. It's pretty neat. I actually picked this up in Tokyo Hard Off, and I picked it up for pretty cheap, probably $20 to $30. It's been a while. I haven't got a chance to show this off. I've just had it sitting on the side here and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put that in my next pickups video, but I didn't really have a whole lot of other pickups to show at the time, so I just collected it in the corner so I could show it off. You can tell it's still encased in plastic. That's because I don't want to open it. I know that sounds bad, but you know, that's just part of the collecting thing. It's pretty strange. You can have a lot of things you can find in like a thrift store and buy it for cheap, like $5-10, and it'll be whole consoles or accessories like this. And then when you go to open it up, I had this happen to me recently, this is why I'm mentioning it. You go to open up the system or whatever, and you find out that the box is in kind of poor condition, but the inside is perfectly brand new. Like the game or the system or the accessory has never been hooked up. There's no scratches, dents on the terminals where it plugs into the console or plugs into the system. Completely brand new. I've had that happen to me, I think, twice this month, and we'll get to that in another video. I'll talk more about that. But I have a feeling this could be the same thing. The box isn't in that bad of a condition. All the styrofoam is there. It looks nice. I can hear the cards and stuff kind of sliding around in there, the posters or whatever the Power Glove came with. So this could be in like pristine condition and never ever used, and I wouldn't even know it unless I decide to open it up. Will I decide to open it up ever? Maybe 6 months from now I'll be opening it up and saying, oh, look what's inside. But for right now, it's encased in the plastic. I don't believe this is factory sealed. I don't want to say it's factory sealed because I don't know much about the Power Glove seals. It does look like it could potentially be factory sealed. I don't know. That's the thing. You just don't know. This could be factory sealed. Just been moved around from place to place and no one has a reason to open it because they're not going to use it. I'm not going to use a Power Glove. Serious? Sounds bad. But like I said, it's part of the collection now. I'm proud to have it and own it. It's pretty cool art. I actually had a Power Glove growing up. I got it from a friend of mine. They were getting rid of a lot of stuff and they just gave it to us, and it was terrible. I was excited to use it, but I was just holding it. I didn't have the sensor for it, so I just had to hold it, and I was playing like Mega Man like this, and it was terrible. It didn't go over well. It looks cool, but the functionality of the Power Glove, I think, really failed. You know how Nintendo is. They like to try to take big leaps. You know, we got the Virtual Boy over there. But anyways, proud to have this in the collection. Alright guys, so that was my pickups for the week. Pretty happy with everything I've showed you guys today. A lot of Final Fantasy stuff, I know. We did have some shoot 'em ups, some other RPGs besides Final Fantasy. I know I'm a big Final Fantasy guy, so I'm always mentioning I've got Final Fantasy. Oh wait, I got another pick I didn't show. Okay, so behind me here, I just picked these up today too. The little Final Fantasy, the old style, the old pixelated figures that are in the Square Enix store. I have them all except for Tifa, I believe. So I've got what, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I got 6. So I've got Barrett, Tifa, Aerith, Cloud, Reno. Yeah, I forgot to show those off too. Sorry. See, I got Final Fantasy stuff coming out of my ears. I picked those up for fairly cheap. I actually think it all added up to about the same. Sephiroth just fell over. I think it all added up to about the same I would pay for if I bought it directly from the Square Enix store. So I'm okay with that. They're not dinged up or banged up at all, even though Sephiroth is laying on his ass right now back there. That's okay. But yeah, okay, that's all the Final Fantasy stuff I got to show right now, alright? Maybe the next episode I'll have some more Final Fantasy stuff. Who knows? Always picking up Final Fantasy stuff. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments down below for some good shooters to look out for, because I need to get into the shooters more, alright? I gotta take a step away from the RPGs sometime, even though there's backlogs of RPGs that I gotta catch up with. But anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Stand up, Sephiroth. Stand up. I will drop you on your ass again. Yes.